guys, welcome along to Trans Am Rumble round number 3 tonight from Phillip Island. I'm going to apologise up front if this all turns to custard. We've had internet issues all day and we're just testing to see whether we can actually get this out tonight. So boys are just about to start their qualifying runs. Got a 20-minute qualifying session. Not sure what the details are. I assume it'd be the same as last week, where first half the field, based on practice times, will go in the last 10 minutes, and the guys outside of the top half will go first for 10 minutes. Just judging by the cars in the pits, I'm guessing that's what's happening. And we might head down to the track and see if we can catch some of the action. Like I said, I'm apologising up front if this doesn't work. We're just working with what we've got. Boys are just on an out lap at the moment, getting some heat into the tyres. Looks like Dave Gogol was the first out of the pits. Meanwhile, mate Tesserero put in a purple sector 2. Jason Locke's gone quickest in sector 1 so far. Dave Gogol crosses the line now, puts up a time of 1:38. Got quickly beaten by Jason Locke with a 1:37.5. Keith Logan 1:37.6. Matt Tesserero a 37.9. Usually lap 2, lap 3 maybe. Tyres are at their peak, so expect the times to come down early. Might see a few of the boys pit for a fresh set of rubber. They've only got 10 minutes, so they don't have a lot of time. Try and get a good lap time down early. We've got a few cameras tonight. We've got a couple of curb cams again. This one's on the approach up through Lukey. I was testing this one out while the boys were doing some practice, and a few of the boys get a bit sideways through here, so hopefully we'll get some good shots when the racing starts. Oh, one's gone off in the background. It's our camera set up at the bottom of the straight as they come through turn 1. Usually quite a bit of action happens down through this corner, so thought we'd set up a camera for there. See the cars slide once they looks like Jason Locke's just run it a little bit wide. Meanwhile, Darren Linus now is at the top, just over halfway through the first qualifying session, the 1:37.4. Set up our bridge cam is on the top of the bridge down the main straight. Might give this one a bit of a whirl at the start tonight. See how that goes. A couple other cameras. This one we've set up for coming down into the hairpin. I'm just trying to find it there. Here we go. It's Daniel Gomes. Always something happening at the hairpin, so set one up there to see what happens later on when the racing gets underway. Got our drone camera as well out again tonight. Hopefully got enough cameras out there to get some really good footage. Should be some good racing tonight. 30-minute races, two 30-minute races. Mandatory pit stop for fuel. Not sure whether the boys will have time to grab a set of new tyres during the pit stops, but tyres certainly do go off. A few comments last week from Oran Park that the tyres definitely do go off, so it'll be interesting to see whether anybody actually takes tyres in their pit stops. Coming up to the 8-minute mark now. Oh, Daniel's gone a bit wide out of turn one, back onto the track safely. Dave Gogol currently at the top, 137.3. Darren Linus just behind him, then Jason Locke, Keith Logan, Matt Tesserero, Scotty Baker, Daniel Gomes, Phil Paradiso, Curtis Hodgetts, Ray Harrison. .15 cars currently out on track, so I'm assuming that there'll be around about 15 in the next group as well, so not a bad field, about 30 cars out tonight, which is good to see. Luke Kimi in the 166. Lovely pink wheels. Definitely stands out in the crowd, that livery. Adam St. John. And his famous number 369. Who else we got out on track at the moment? Crowd favourite, Keithy Logan. Currently sits fourth, Keith. Might find himself starting middle of the pack, I would imagine. I think some of the boys in Group 1 will certainly be looking to set some fairly quick times. Looks like the quicker boys are just leaving the pits now, heading out on a warm-up lap. Meanwhile, Keith's just checking out the sand traps. Group 1 boys are just out now on their out lap. Get some heat into the tyres before they put down some time. It's our winner from the first 2 rounds, Jack Boyd. Jack will be hard to beat again tonight. Pit stops always throw a bit of a curveball, but Jack's renowned for getting pit stops fairly well down pat, so yeah, I think it'll be difficult to beat tonight, but you never know. 30-minute race, anything can happen. Another one of our fixed cameras coming down through Lukey. This is always another spot where there's a few biffs and bingles, so hopefully we'll get some action from there. There's our curb cam at turn 1 as Jack comes through. Interesting to see the different lines. Jack coming down. It's gone purple for the first sector as he comes through the hairpin. Wait for him as he comes up through Lukey. Jack's purple for the first 2 sectors. Looks like he's going to set the benchmark early on. Looking to beat a 137.39. Crosses the line and goes to the top with a 135.7. Tom Freer 36 flat. Then Neville Mill with a 36.7. Jaden Russell with the 36.7. Simon Smith 36.7. Damien Seeger jumps into third with a 36.6. Anthony Connors in the Palmer Mobile tonight. Certainly, it's a big turnaround from a black car last week to a white car this week. Good to see Ant changing it up every week. Meanwhile, Jack Boyd's gone quicker again. Set the fastest time in Sector 2. Boys are about halfway through their 10-minute qualifying session. Apologies for that. I'm a male, I can't multitask. I was just answering messages on my phone. Apologies. Aaron Oliver in number 70. Where's Aaron? Currently sitting 10th. It's fairly close. 6th through to 10th at the moment. The boys are very close in time. You can see down the bottom that the sector times are yellow, showing the tyres are. I think a few of the boys might have just jumped in and grabbed another set of tyres, so this could be an outlap. Caleb Patterson in the Triple A, currently sitting 7th. He's on an outlap. Have time for probably one, maybe two. Just depends how quickly he gets to the across the line before he starts the lap. Just on 30 seconds to go, and Tom Frears jumped to the top with a 35.6. Wow, that's very close at the top. Meanwhile, looks like qualifying session is over. Be gridding up very shortly. Put the just waiting for the grid to come up now. Oh, it looks like we've inverted the top 10 somehow. Not sure what's happening there. Quickly run through the grid while the boys get set. It's about to get underway for Heat 1.
Thanks, Amo. Good luck, everyone.
One's away. Looks like a good even start. Jaden Russell's currently in front. All made it through turn one. Looks like a good, clean, even start so far. Bit of a bottleneck further back. Looks like everybody's made it through fairly cleanly so far. Glenn Boyd currently running 5th. Jack's up to 3rd already. As we complete the opening lap. Through turn one. Field's starting to spread out a little bit, but so far everyone's been very well behaved. Looks like Aaron Oliver is the only one so far that's back in the pits. Meanwhile, up the front, it's Jaden Russell. Jack's now moved into 2nd. Neville Mell 3rd. Moz Moroz up to 4th. Glenn Boyd still holding down 5th. Got a bit of a gap back to Caleb Patterson. Damien Seeger in 7th. Simon Smith in 8th. Tom Freer in 9th. And Jason Locke rounding out the top 10. Simon's putting Damo under a little bit of pressure as they head round to complete lap 2. Meanwhile, back up the front, Jack's just done the fastest lap, a 36 flat, as he locks onto the back of Jaden now. Keithy Logan down in 16th at the moment. Coming under a bit of pressure from Phil Paradiso. Down into the hairpin. Heavy braking. Dave Gogol just ahead of Keith at the moment. Oh, as we say that, Dave's just had a bit of an off. Keeps it off the wall. Should be able to rejoin and get back on. Meanwhile, Jack's still hounding Jaden. Hasn't found a way past yet. Wonder if Jack is doing the Jack thing and Just looking to do a bit of fuel saving. Quite happy to sit back in second for the time being. Jump on board with Jack. Oh, Jaden's run a bit wide. Looks like Jack's trying to take advantage. And, yep, slips through to the lead. Can Jaden stay with him now? It's just over a second back to Neville Mel in third. Glenn Boyd just behind Neville. Oh, looks like Caleb Patterson's had a spin in the background.
You're welcome.
Apologies for that replay. We're still trying to get some of these glitches sorted out, but hey, we're having a go. Anthony Connors currently runs up in seventh. It looks like a few of the boys have pitted now for their fuel. Jack's opened up a handy lead over Jaden now. Top four look like they haven't pitted yet, so it's a 30-minute race. We're just coming up on the 8-minute mark, so I'm not quite sure how much fuel the boys started with, but obviously there's quite a few different strategies out there at the moment. Well, this is Ruben Borst, currently sitting down 15th. He's up 10 spots, so it's that's a good effort from Ruben. Doing a good job out there tonight. Darren Linus in the 7 car, currently running 8th. Field's spread out a little bit now with the pit stops, so I have to just wait for everybody to complete their stops. See how the field pans out after everybody's pitted. Oh, got a spinner up ahead. Might have been Simon Joel Smith, actually. Let's see if we can grab a replay. Oh yeah, it's going to touch the grass. Yep. Gentle spin. Very well done. Kept his foot in the gas and away he goes. Meanwhile up the front, Jack's now got a just over a 3.5 second lead over Jaden, still second. Neville Mill third. Glenn Boyd still running fourth. Then Tom Freer, Anthony Connors up to 6th. Simon Smith has dropped down to 7th. Darren Linus up into 8th. Graham Ellis doing a good job in 9th. Keith Logan up to 10th. Henry Fenson in 11th. Phil Paradiso 12th. Jason Locke 13th. Ray Harrison 14th. And Ruben Borst completes your top 15 at this stage. Luke Keamy, currently running 18th, out on track. Let's have a look and see. Just having a look. So Damien Seeger has pitted. Caleb Patterson has pitted. Aaron Oliver, Moz Moroz, Curtis Hodges. Damien's currently down in 20th. Looks like Keith Logan's just in the pits now. Looks like a few of the boys have decided to pit on this lap. Well, Ruben's just run a bit wide there. Should be able to get that back out on track. Well, Scott Baker in the 43, currently sitting in 12th. Graham Ellis hunting down Henry. It looks like Henry's internet is doing its usual. I don't know how he feels. Meanwhile, it looks like we've got another crasher further back in the pack. This is Phil Paradiso. What's happened to Phil? Oh, he's just run it wide. Grass, yep. Again, managed to keep that off the walls. Lights the tyres up, gets it back out on track. Graham's currently running in 8th, hasn't pitted yet. Looks like Neville Mel's pitted. He's currently up in 10th. It's the first. Damien Seeger's moved up to 14th now. Oh, got a spinner in front of Graham. It's Henry, I think, that's had a bit of a spin. Meanwhile, up the front, Jack's coming across a bit of traffic, making his way past, I think that's Matt Tesserero. It's coming up to the halfway mark of race 1. Jack's still running around in the low 36s. It's now nearly 6-second lead over Jaden Russell, still second. Glenn Boyd's moved up to third. Looks like Glenn is slowly working his way up onto the back of Jaden. Tom Freer, meanwhile, has moved up to fourth now. Jump on board with. This is Glenn Boyd. As he tries to track down Jaden Russell. Turn the volume up. Jaden's running a bit wide. You can hear Glenn just feathering the throttle. These things tend to get a fair bit of understeer once the tyres are a few laps old. Nearly identical lap times for both Jaden and Glenn that lap. Meanwhile, Tom Freer back in behind Glenn is put in a fairly decent lap time. It's Tom there trying to catch the leading three. Henry Fenson in 8th has just put in a 37.6, which I think is the fastest lap so far. Fastest time for this lap. Still a few boys that haven't pitted yet, so it'll be interesting to see whether any of the guys further down can grab a few spots. All gets down to pit stop times, and the last thing you want to do is get caught speeding on pit lane. Boys are coming across some lap traffic. That was Curtis Hodges. They managed to get through. Glenn peels off to the pits now. Leaves Tom up into third. Meanwhile, out front, Jax. Pretty much got the track to himself. A few more in the pits now. Sees Glenn Boyd's back out on track. Currently in 6th. Henry Fenson just behind Glenn. Graham Ellis still yet to stop, but finds himself up in 5th spot. Anthony Connors currently runs 4th. Hasn't pitted yet either.
Thank you. All good.
Jaden Russell's now in the pits. Jack Boyd's in the pits. Puts Tom Freer as the leader of the race. I would imagine Tom will have to stop fairly soon. Boyd's come back out, currently in third. Two boys in front, still yet to pit. Chasing down Anthony Connors. Tick over the 20-minute mark. There's about 10 minutes of the race to go. A few of these boys have really stretched the fuel out. Not sure what's happened to Jaden Russell, but looks like he pitted but didn't come back out. Tom Freer's now gone into the pits. Jack Boyd just coming through now. Heads into the lead as that's Tom just leaving the pits now. Anthony Connors was also in the pits. Tom's come back out into second. He's got Glenn Boyd about half a second behind him at this stage. Meanwhile, Jack's lead is now around about 11.5 seconds, so I think Jack's got this one pretty well covered, barring any mishaps. But it looks like there's a bit of a fight on for the final two spots on the podium. If Glenn can track down Tom. Meanwhile, Never Mel currently fourth, about 3.5 seconds behind Glenn Boyd. Damien Seeger currently in fifth. Another 8 seconds behind Neville. Caleb Patterson currently running sixth. He's got Anthony Connors about half a second behind him at the moment. Seventh. Henry Fenson's just moved himself up into eighth spot. Head of Simon Smith, and Aaron Oliver has now jumped into the top 10. Graham Ellis still doing a great job there. He's currently 11th, followed by Keith Logan, just under a second behind Graham, and Jason Locke, Moz Moroz and Phil Paradiso into the top 15. Anthony and Caleb heading into the hairpin. Oh, Caleb's running a bit wide. It's given Anthony the opportunity. Caleb manages to stay ahead for the time being. About to head out onto the Front straight. Don't get much of a toe in these cars, so different lines there from the two boys. Caleb's managed to just break it out to about 6 tenths at the moment. Well, this is the battle between Henry and Simon Smith. Henry's internet. Oh, it looks like Henry's run wide out of the hairpin, and Simon's managed to get in front. Meanwhile, Jack crosses the line, start another lap. Maintain that lead of around about 12 seconds. Looks like with Rubens might have had another off. Oh. Just rolls it off the track into the wall. Meanwhile, Caleb's still managing to hold off Anthony in the closing stages. Slower car up in front. Anthony was 2 tenths quicker on that lap, putting Caleb under a lot of pressure. Oh, Caleb's run wide. It's given Anthony the opportunity. He's going to break the latest. Caleb manages to shut the door. Sideways again. I think the tyres are pretty well cooked. Oh, bit of a tap. Can he hold it there? Oh, bit of a tap from Caleb. I think that might be an apology over the radio. It's very hard to stop these cars from sliding. Oh, Anthony's gone a bit hot there. Caleb's managed to break away. He's just over a second now, and I'm pretty sure this will be the last lap. Jack Boyd coming around to complete his final lap. Comfortable win, nearly 13 seconds ahead of Tom Freer at the moment. Glenn Boyd managing to hold down third. It's got about a 2.5 second gap now over Neville Mill. Damien Seegers in fifth. Caleb Patterson in sixth. Anthony Connors seventh. Simon Joel Smith, Aaron Oliver and Henry Fenson round out your top 10. Jack comes over the line. Neville Mill. Comes Damien Seeger, home in fifth. Meanwhile, the battle rages at the back, and it looks like Anthony Connors has got Caleb. Not sure whether Caleb might have reversed those positions based on the tap we saw a bit earlier, but good hard racing between both of them there. Just waiting for the final results.
Hey Adam, can you just keep an eye on your relative and your mirrors? Because we come up on you pretty quick and yeah.
Okay, results for Heat 1. Jack Boyd, Tom Freer, Glenn Boyd, Neville Mill, Damien Seeger in fifth, Anthony Connors, Caleb Patterson, Simon Joel Smith in eighth, Aaron Oliver ninth, Henry Fenson rounds out the top 10, Keith Logan, Moz Moroz, Graham Ellis, good job, home in 13th, Jason Locke, Phillip Paradiso, Matt Tesserero, Ray Harrison and Curtis Hodges, the top 18. And the rest of the boys a couple of laps down. I think got a warm-up session now of around 5 minutes, so we'll be back shortly with Heat 2. Guys, welcome back. Get underway shortly for Heat 2. It's, just waiting for some grid info for race 2. I'm not sure what the boys have got planned in the way of reverse grids. Warm-up's just finishing, so they should be gridding up shortly. Alright, so here's the grid for race 2. Neville Mill on pole, Glenn Boyd, Tom Freer, Jack Boyd, Damien Seeger, Anthony Connors, Caleb Patterson, Simon Joel Smith, Aaron Oliver and Henry Fenson round out your top 10. Keith Logan in 11th and Moz Moroz starting in 12th. Just waiting for, I think it might be Damo. Oh no, Damo's on the grid. Somebody hasn't, oh, Caleb Patterson hasn't gridded up yet. A couple of boys slow away there. Everyone's away cleanly. So head down into Neville Mill, currently leading. Head down into the hairpin for the first time. Tom Freer's looking for what manages to get through on the inside. Neville left the door slightly ajar, and Tom and Jack both make their way through. Down through Leakey for the first time. Looks like everybody's made it through there cleanly on lap 1. Meanwhile, Jack's harassing Tom, who's done the quickest opening lap. Looks like Jack's looking to make the move down into the hairpin. I think Tom's going to jump on board with Jack. Come up over the top of Lukey. Try the switch back. Oh, Tom's a bit loose. See the back of these cars squirm under the power. Jack's got a good run onto the straight. As I said, there's don't get much of a toe, so he's not going to be able to slingshot out of the draft. Trying the outside run again. I think he might have got it done this time. Yep, he's managed to get past Tom on that occasion, down through the hairpin. Meanwhile, it looks like we might have lost Simon. Joel Smith. Oh yeah, he's run very wide. I think that might be at turn 1. Yeah. Oh, and he's come back on and collected Scotty Baker. Easy to do. These things are really hard to pull up on the grass. Meanwhile, back up in the front. Have a look through the field. It's Neville Merrill and Glenn Boyd currently 4th and 3rd and 4th. Mosmoroz currently in 9th as he tries to hunt down Henry Fenson just ahead of him. Good little battle this, just in front of these boys. Damien Seeger, Anthony Connors, that's Aaron Oliver in car 70. And you've got Henry Fenson and Mosmoroz all very close. All running within about half a second of each other. Oh, that's Henry that's run wide there, back onto the straight. I think he's managed to hold it. He's dropped 1 position back behind Moz now. Meanwhile, this is Anthony Connors and Aaron Oliver. Damo just ahead. Jump on board with Aaron. Oh, big lock up. I think that might have been Anthony just running in a bit hot. Aaron's managed to make his way through. Moves up to 6th. Now looking to catch Damo just ahead of him. I love that shot. Back with Aaron. Slightly let off the gas as you come onto the straight. Meanwhile, looks like after a really good race one, looks like Graham Ellis might have come a cropper. Oh, just got on the gas a bit hard and a bit of a tap from behind. No harm done. Get that back up. Facing the right way. Get back out there. Meanwhile, Moroz is closed right up on the back of Anthony Connors. Looks like he's managed to get through. Puff of smoke as they come down bottom of Lukey, hard on the brakes. Meanwhile now Moz has moved up to 7th. Henry looks like he's been the first to of the front runners to do his pit stop. Well, Jack out the front is Tom's doing a great job of holding on to Jack. Less than half a second in it as we tick over the 10-minute mark. 30-minute race. Doing a great job. 3 seconds further back is Glenn Boyd. He's got Neville Mell still for company. Further 2 seconds back to Damien Seeger. Aaron Oliver now about half a second behind Damo. So Aaron's obviously found a bit of speed this time out. Meanwhile, this is Dave Gogol and John Thorne having their own battles. Currently 16th and 17th. Dave Gogol's actually jumped up 10 spots this race. It's a good effort. Michael Nancaro has jumped up 9 spots. Battle there with Simon Joel Smith, trying to make his way back through the field after that earlier spin. Meanwhile, Aaron's closed right up onto the back of Damo now. Run wide, Damo's ducked into the pits. Back up the front. Jack's managed to get just over a second gap now on Tom. I don't know whether Tom made a bit of a mistake. So that gap has now opened out to about 1.3 seconds. Meanwhile, this is Glenn Boyd and Neville Mell, third and fourth. Neville's stuck to the back of Glenn since the start of the race. He's doing a good job of holding on. Meanwhile, Damo's pitted, come back out on track. He's currently 14th. Looks like we've had another off further back in the pack. This is Jason Rock. What happened to Jace? Oh, it's going to be the hairpin, I think. Oh yeah, just didn't quite pull it up. Oh, he's gassed it, gone sideways. Managed to avoid any other traffic. Meanwhile, back up the front, Jack's open that gap now to about 1.7 seconds. Meanwhile, Moz has closed right up onto the back of Aaron. Right on board with Moz. Oh, Aaron's run wide. Left the door open. Yeah, Moz doesn't need a second invitation when you leave the door open. He'll take your socks in the blink of an eye. So it looks like the first of our stops is still Henry, currently in 10th. He's got Damien right behind him. Oh, Henry's run wide just as we find them on track. And again, and he's lost it at the top of Lukey. Safely out of everyone else's way. Luke Kimi in his pink and purple. What does that say on the back? Nero's. Not sure what Nero's is, but I'm sure Luke will let us know. Meanwhile, this is Curtis Hodges. Curtis is currently 17th. Phil Paradiso currently running 7th. He's up 8 spots. Doing a really good job. These cars seem to suit Phil. He's very consistent. Meanwhile, looks like Neville Mel's pitted. Phil's just coming down pit lane as well. Anthony Connors now moves up to 5th. Field's fairly spread out at the moment. Just waiting on a few of the boys to finish their pit stops, so the field will settle back down again. Meanwhile, out the front, Jack's lead now is just over 3 seconds on Tom Freer. Glenn Boyd now 3rd. Glenn's about nearly 6 seconds behind Tom, and Moz further 7 seconds back. Anthony Connors 4 seconds back, and then Neville Mel in 6 is 17 seconds back, but he has stopped, and Glenn's Jack is just heading into the pits to do his pit stop, followed very closely by Glenn. I think Moz is going to stay out this lap. That should see Moz take the lead, at least for the time being. .138.1 that lap for Moz. The tyres really start to go off. See by the lap times. So I think Moz is about the only one that hasn't stopped now. Just under 10 minutes to go in the race. I would imagine that he'll probably be in next lap. That should put Jack back at the front of the field. Jack's managed to increase that gap over Tom. Neville Mel's, meanwhile, once Moz is pitted, should jump back. Looks like he's jumped Glenn Boyd. Glenn is renowned for his very quick pit stops. Looks like he's lost a spot to Neville in the pit stops. Might see if young Jack can give Glenn some pointers on pit stops with his boy seems to lose out. Moz has pitted this lap. That'll put Jack back into the front. Currently about 5 seconds ahead of Tom. Another 5 seconds back to Neville Mel. And then just over a second back to Glenn Boyd, who will slot into 4th next time over the line. Looks like Aaron Oliver's back to hunting down Anthony Connors again. Just a bit of deja vu. Anthony will be having nightmares about green cars. Caleb Patterson in race 1. Now Aaron in race 2. It's battle for 6th and 7th with Damien's just slightly ahead there in 5th. Meanwhile, it looks like Glenn's closing down on the back of Neville Mel. Right on board with Glenn for a minute. Glenn puts in the fastest lap so far. 36.7 against Neville's 37.2. Meanwhile, Aaron back with Aaron Oliver as he hunts down Anthony. Into the hairpin. So Aaron's made the pass on Anthony, moves him up to 6th. Meanwhile, looks like Glenn hasn't given up on that final podium spot. Probably a couple of laps to go. Got a crasher back in the pack meanwhile. Looks like Phil Paradiso, we've put the mockers on him. Oh, just locked up. Looks like he followed Ruben in a bit too deep, or was that Luke? Looks like one of our front runners. Let's have a look and see what's happened to Tom. Still second. Might have just run off track. Yeah, locked. Same thing, locked it up into the hairpin. Managed to gas it up and get it back out on track. Avoid the meanwhile, Glenn's still tracking down Neville. Going to need to get it done fairly quickly. Slower, couple of lap car or slower cars up in front. I wonder if that'll help Glenn. Barring any mistakes, the slower cars might come into play. Neville's looking for a way through. Allows Glenn to close right up again. Well, Anthony Connors is closed back up on to the back of Aaron again in the battle for 6th and 7th as we start the final lap. Jack's got a comfortable 14-second lead. Pretty much roll at home. Meanwhile, Glenn's desperately looking for a way through. Meanwhile, Jack comes down through Lukey for the final time. Jack makes it 2 from 2. 15 seconds over Tom. Meanwhile, Neville looks like he's going to hold off Glenn Boyd for 3rd spot. Looks like Anthony's managed to get past Aaron Oliver. They bring it down. Damo home in 5th. Anthony brings it home in 6th, followed by Aaron Oliver. Keith Logan bring it home in 8th, followed by Phil Paradiso. Moz Moroz back in 10th. Jason Locke, Dave Gogol in 12th. Mick Nancaro. Rounds out the top 13. Just wait for the final results.
Good racing.
And there we have it. So Jack makes it 2 from 2. Tom Freer home in 2nd. Neville Mell 3rd. Glenn Boyd 4th. Damien Seeger rounds out top 5. Followed by Anthony Connors, Aaron Oliver, Keith Logan, Phil Paradiso, Moz Moroz home in 10th. Jason Locke, Dave Gogol, Michael Nancaro, Ray Harrison, Ruben Borst, Curtis Hodges, and then Scotty Baker lap down, Henry Fenson. Over the page. Adam St. John, Luke Keamy, John Thorne, Darren Linus, Simon Joel Smith, and Graham Ellis, Matt Tesserero, Caleb Patterson, Jaden Russell, Daniel Gomes, home in 28th. That's it for tonight, boys and girls. Thank you for joining us, and hopefully we'll catch you again next week.